What's up? It's your boy AJ for the win, back again, and today I'm bringing you value, man. Um, if you bought a car or was considered buying a car and from the years 2021, 2020 really to 2024, chances are you overpaid and you're probably going to end up in negative equity for your next car purchase. And chances are the repo man might be coming because you bought the car when it was over MSRP and at a time when the world felt like money was just flowing. I know for me, I was kept asking in the year 2020, 2021, like, dang, like everybody getting money, we all getting money. We had stimulus pumping into the economy, which made businesses feel like they were flourishing. And that just wasn't the case. It was inflated. Um, let's check out this video about Michael Bordinaro and his take on what might be happening. And hopefully this isn't you, but he does give some insight on how to get out of this situation if this is you. So check it out.
That the car market in the United States is bankrupting Americans, because I want to talk about 5 different warning signs that we can take a look at right now in the US car market that shows you how completely unsustainable things
Turn my mic off. Hold on.
are. And coincidentally, it's just as unsustainable as the US housing market. So this situation parallels the situation with real estate. And right now, the automotive industry is facing unprecedented challenges, and there is likely going to be a huge price correction on the horizon given all of the data that we are about to discuss. And just like with real estate, and just like with other types of debt, the amount of money that people owe on the cars that they own right now is at record highs. It's at about 1.7 trillion. And if we take a look at this chart just going back to 2019, which really wasn't that long ago, you could see it was 1.2 trillion. So it has risen $500 billion over the past 5 years. And if you're somebody that is planning on buying a car in the next year or two, this is for you, because you need to understand the state of the market and what's likely going to come down the pipeline. Now, arguably one of the largest problems that we had in the car market, and one of the reasons why we're in the situation we're in right now, is because of all of the dealer markups we saw during the pandemic. In January of 2022, about 82% of American buyers paid above MSRP on a car. Think about it, guys, 82%. And I've heard some people say, well, they didn't have a choice. If you wanted to buy a new car at the time, that was the situation where you were in. Well, newsflash, nobody ever has to buy a brand new car. You choose to buy a brand new car. So to sit there and say,
Yeah, that is true. I found myself in a very weird predicament. I had an Audi A5, pretty decent. Got into a car accident in 2022. Had a job out in LA, and I had to scramble to try to find a new means of transportation, but it just wasn't any cars available. And that was because there was a of scarcity with the semiconductor chips. I don't know if you guys remember this. And car manufacturing slowed down. People were getting money, so cars got bought up super fast without new cars entering the market. So that means the cars that were left, they were pumped up overpriced because with scarcity, you increase price. That's basic economics. And I got lucky, man. I could have jumped into a new Audi or a new Mercedes, but I downsized and made sure my monthly payments was under $300, and that car is already about to be paid off. Just in time to, I'm buying used a car next, and it might be a car that's been repossessed from somebody else who just simply couldn't make their payments. There's going to be a lot of those in the market in the next 2 years. So, yeah, man, let's look at some more of this.
that people didn't have a choice and they had to spend 80% over MSRP on a brand new car is just a giant excuse for people that were financially irresponsible. Now, not everybody
In 2022, I bought a 2015 car. For this exact reason.
80% over MSRP. The markups were anywhere between 10% and 80%. Okay, one of the most common ones, which is kind of ridiculous considering it's not even an amazing vehicle, was the Ford Bronco during this time. Okay, the MSRP in 2022 for that Ford Bronco was $38,000. Dealers were marking that vehicle up an additional $45,000, and it was actually selling for about $83K. Can you imagine you bought a Ford Bronco back in 2022 for $83K, even though the MSRP wasn't even $40? Imagine what it's worth right now, which is something we're going to get into a little bit later in this video. And so the next piece of this puzzle is the financing part of it. And this is part of the reason why all of it's starting to unravel right now. Because people who wanted to finance a vehicle between 2021 and 2023 are now facing some pretty severe financial repercussions because of it. About 25% of vehicle trade-ins have negative equity, with buyers typically owing almost $7,000 more than their vehicle is worth. This is something I have covered a few times since this news story first broke out last year, and that is just a staggering number, guys. To come to a dealership, bring your car in, and they say, well, this is what we're gonna give you, and it's not even enough to cover your loan. By the way, you're gonna have to pay us $7,000 in order to trade this thing in order to satisfy your loan. Huh? Who's got that kind of cash right now? Not many. And to make matters even worse, prior to the pandemic, you could finance a brand new car with an interest rate as low as 1 to 3%. And then it skyrocketed up to 6% for new cars. And for used cars, it's even higher. And so many people who bought these cars now are sitting with a monthly car payment of about $750 a month. And 1/6 of people who bought a brand new car during this time frame are now paying over $1,000 a month. So it's no surprise that because these payments are so high and people thought they could kind of swing it at the time, and that was before inflation really kind of kicked everyone's ass. Well, look at this now. You can see the delinquency rates on auto loans is also starting to skyrocket because of this. Before the pandemic, delinquencies were...
And then when inflation rose, I think 8 to 9%, I asked for a raise at my job. I said, hey, the economy just raised everything, the price of everything up 9%. I'm not going to sit back and pretend like I don't need that money, man. You got to ask. You got to make these fools that want to own businesses and hire out people and be the big man. You got to pay the big man prices, man. Don't go in there getting underpaid, you know, and then trying to minimize your life, bro. That's not the way this works. Everybody got to hold out until it adjusts, man.
4.5%, and it has been steadily on the rise since then, and is now sitting at 7.5%. Probably going to keep climbing, guys. So pretty soon a lot of these people are going to get to meet the repo man. So this situation, combined with all of the car manufacturers across the world amping up production to try to meet the shortfalls that we had during the pandemic, because since the entire global economy was on lockdown, we had a semiconductor chip shortage, and since cars are basically computers on wheels, that was a problem. So a lot of these manufacturers rushed to produce as many vehicles as they could over the past several years, and you combine that huge amount of production with all of these people who are now essentially losing their cars because they can't afford them anymore. This brings us to the inventory problem. As of the end of 2024, unsold inventory levels have risen 120% since 2023. So vehicle inventory on the car lots have gone up 120%, guys, in the last 2 years. Think about that. We haven't even seen increases like that on the housing market. So this car market crisis is even worse than the housing market crisis. And in 2022, to put things into perspective, there were times when inventory levels were as low as 18 days worth of inventory on dealer lots. So this is what led to the dealer markups and them charging way over asking price, just like people did for homes. A shortage of supply and an oversupply of demand. And now you see all of these dealers pretty much putting forth any incentive they can to get these cars sold. You know, they're offering you employee pricing. They're offering $15,000, $20,000 discounts off of MSRP. And it's still not enough to get a lot of these vehicles sold, because now, fast forward a couple years later, people are broke and nobody can afford to pay $50,000 for a brand new car at a 7% interest rate. So now what's happening is the entire auto industry is in panic mode, because you have these large car manufacturers laying off thousands of people, like Nissan and Ford, and even GM has mentioned that they're going to be cutting back production on a lot of their vehicles recently. And Nissan in particular saw a 90% drop in its profits and a 20% cut to its production line, which is a huge signal of distress to the industry, which indicates potential systemic issues that could lead to broader market corrections later on, which we're already starting to see right now. The correction is taking place because you have all these vehicles piling up on dealer lots. They're not selling. So what are they going to do? Are they going to give them away for free? Of course not. They're going to have to continue lowering the prices. But the problem is a lot of these dealerships are not allowed to lower the prices past a certain point without the permission of the manufacturer. So at some point, the manufacturers are going to have to step in and say, yeah, we're giving you special permission to offer these vehicles at 40, 50% off, whatever it is, just to get them sold. So we're looking at a time over the next couple of years where it could actually be a fantastic time to buy a brand new car.
And by brand new, he means hasn't been used, but it's 2 years old though. You know, those cars are going to be sitting on these lots for some time. Unless there's a huge stimulus again pumped into the economy, which I highly doubt it. I know that the banks will get bailed out before the people do. Trump is desperately talking about trying to fire Jerome Powell, Fed chairman. If you don't know who Jerome Powell is, you're a part of the problem of why the economy is bad, because you're not taking an interest in who's running your economy. Okay. Let's fast forward a little bit through this. He brings up another chart, I believe. Or no, he doesn't. But yeah, man, there's going to be an influx of vehicles to hit the market, and the used car market and Craigslist and used car dealerships, they're going to buy up these cars from the lots, most likely. So get prepared for that if you have a little bit of cash saved. If you're thinking about buying a car right now, if you could hold off on it, you'll be rewarded. You know, you'll be able to get something very nice, get something that you really want for half the price. This next video is going to explain that.
He owes almost $400,000, pays $5,000 a month, and it's upside down big time and wants to get out of it.
So whoever owned his car, it cost him $170,000 to own his car for 2 years.
All right, so this video is going to be pretty fun because we've talked about it a couple times in passing in my previous car videos with people rolling in negative equity in their deals or just paying over MSRP, especially because we're at the end of 2024, beginning of 2025, and people haven't really been doing that well for a couple years. We're starting to see the consequences and a ton of people losing money on vehicles. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're just going to be watching a lot of people lose a lot of money. A little bit more of an entertaining video compared it to my others, but I thought you guys would enjoy this because, I mean, how many people have you seen spend all of their money on a new vehicle just to...
Like during the pandemic, everybody was buying everything: jewelry, houses, cars, services, clothes, eating out, you know what I'm saying? Throwing money at the strip club. I was a part of all of that. You know, unbeknownst to me, I just accidentally made some decent choices. But for some people, you're about to find out in this video right now. Color of the skin, education, none of that matters. Everybody got hit.
Off to have that kind of lifestyle, even though they possibly had negative equity on the previous car. But the highs from 2020, 2021 are really starting to grind down to a halt, and cost of living starting to get really rough, and we could see some of the consequences. So I got a whole bunch of clips, different examples, along with some of your comments from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave it in the comments down below. But we're going to start off with a pickup truck that the owner owes more than double what it's worth.
All right, so calling back a customer on a 2022 GMC Sierra that he wants to trade in. So let's give him a call.
Hey, Eustace, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I heard that you are trying to trade in your GMC Sierra.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm looking to trade it in, see what I get for it.
You're just looking to sell it, or you want to trade it in for something different?
I'm going to see what I could get appraised for, and then, you know, from there.
1,000 miles?
Yeah.
Okay. And how much do you own the vehicle?
Yeah, actually looks like I just did the 10-day, and I got about $65,609.27.
You owe $65,000 on the truck?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's what I got left to pay off on it.
Yeah, brother, I'm way off, man. If I were to give you an offer, man, I'd be like high 33s, like low 34s, man.
Bought it for, I think it's around 40, but I also rolled over negative equity from my last truck, too. I think that's what killed me.
It looks like it has one small accident on the Carfax.
I accidentally hit my mom's car when she was back on my driveway.
And how's your credit?
My credit's pretty good. I mean, right now I'm about 680.
So honestly, man, like if you're trying to sell it, I mean, you'd have a good, what, $30,000 to pay on top to get off the lien. I mean, I don't have anything that I think you'd be interested in rolling over that much negative equity. Even if I could, I don't even think I can roll over $30,000 in negative equity.
The negative equity kind of stuff is insane to me. I mean, the truck was initially $40,000, went down to 30 because of the accident, and he had over 40,000 miles on it, but he was already in the hole with the previous vehicle, and instead of getting something that would depreciate as little as it possibly can for any sort of vehicle, which ends up being some sort of Corolla, Civic, Honda, Toyota, something very reliable and cheap in comparison to maybe buying a pickup truck, to hopefully keep the payments somewhat low, but buying a brand new GMC Sierra turns into owing $65,000 on a $30,000 vehicle. Wow. And I mean, you can see some of the comments, just keep trying to roll negative equity. I don't know how that doesn't stress people out. Put that man in a 3-year lease on a Corolla. And that's what normally happens if you want to be smart. If you did make a bad choice with a previous vehicle and are underwater, that's probably the best way to get out of that situation. And I mean, this goes all across the board. It doesn't matter if you're a normal person and still spending, $40,000 on a pickup truck, or somebody super wealthy who paid over MSRP to get a nice new sports car during COVID because everybody was making money. And then a couple years later, when it's not nearly as cool anymore, you don't have fun with the vehicle anymore, depreciation is way worse.
Yo, yesterday I was offered this car from another dealership, and the amount of depreciation this car took is insane. So this is a 2022 Maserati MC20. Maserati came out with these cars. They were selling for $50,000 over sticker when they first came out, which to me is insane. So yeah, if you see up here, they want $140,000 in this car. So MMR, which is average wholesale value at auction, is $160,000. But the recent examples have been bringing way less than $160,000, which is why I guess they want $140,000. They probably pay the customer around $130,000, $135,000 or so on trade-in value, and they're just trying to make a quick wholesale deal because, again, this is a lot of money that's being tied up, and I don't know where the market is, and I'm sure these are not fast movers in the market. So I did a quick Google search on the VIN, and sure enough, this car sold in 2022 for $296,000. And you can't forget the 5% bring a trailer buy fee, which puts this car at around $310,000 that the buyer paid for this vehicle exactly 2 years ago. So whoever owned this car, it cost him $170,000 to own this car for 2 years. And if they put 4,000 miles on this car, if you do the math, it cost them $43 every single mile they drove to own this vehicle. This is a 55% depreciation on this car, which to me is insane, right? Because these cars were bringing over sticker. It was major hype around it, but again, it had a 3.0 V6 engine in it, which I think killed the value of these cars.
$300,000, especially for a Maserati, which we'll see a little bit later, but it is one of the big cars that a whole bunch of people will flex because they believe that it's even better. It's a step above, the Audi, Beamer, Mercedes type of luxury cars, which honestly, they're really not. Maseratis are built pretty horribly, and there's a reason why you could get Maseratis unbelievably.
I mean, after you hit the S-Class 580, 600, don't forget Maybach is still Mercedes. Those are super shitting on any Maserati, in my opinion, from the Ghibli Blade, Quadrublade, and all the other ones. A Maserati is a big bang for your buck, and it's not going to turn no head. So if you're doing it for somebody else, that's not the car to do it with.
On the used market. But some of the comments here, fantastic buy for $65,000 in 5 years. Honestly, it probably won't be too far off. Amazing buy at 60 to 80K, V6 killed it. So people are just going to wait until these absolutely tank. How is Maserati still in business at this point? They sell like 100 cars a year. But yeah, even with the MC20 looking nice, honestly, overall, I think it is a pretty nice looking car. It's solid for about $60,000, not the $310,000 that the first owner bought it for. Absolutely insane.
Guys, check out how horrible the depreciation has been on the BMW iX. So here we have a brand new BMW iX for $109,000. And from the bottom of my heart, I really think this is one of the ugliest cars of all time. I mean, just look at that. That's disgusting. Ugh, I don't know why anyone would ever buy this thing. And here we have one that's only 2 years old for less than $50,000. So if you bought this car brand new, you would have lost over 50% in depreciation in only 2 years, which is obviously insane.
I do want to say that all of these luxury cars are going to be hit with depreciation. It's not like I'm specifically just hating on Maserati compared to the other makers.
But like over 50% decrease in 2 years is crazy. They don't even change that much about the cars in 2 years a lot of these times. So just buy a little bit of a used car, man. That's not that big of a deal. Let's check this one out.
Wait a while.
I'm about to call a customer, and you guys are going to see how it is being a dealer, taking trade-ins in Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, is this Tariq?
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on, Tariq? This is Gus with Legacy More Cars of Georgia. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, boss?
Not much, man. I hear you have a 2019 Hellcat you're looking to trade in for our 2018 Demon.
Yes, sir.
Cool, man. Can you tell me a little bit about the car, how many miles you have, how much you owe, what's your monthly payment?
2019 Hellcat. It's got 121,000 on it. I owe 75,000 on it.
What's your monthly payment on that car?
$1,200.
Okay. And what's your insurance cost per month?
$300.
$300. And that's potential.
So his subscription to own this Hellcat is $1,500 a month. That's not including gas, tires, oil change, deductibles if you get in an accident. That's a lot, dude. $1,500 a month. It's crazy.
A month total.
Yes, sir. I was using it for Uber Eats.
Uber Eats.
Yeah.
Okay, man. That's a lot of car to be Ubering in, my man. Okay, what do you do for work and how much do you make?
I do Uber Eats, and I want to say I do on a good month about 45K.
45K?
4 to 5K.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 45K. I was like, bro, I need to get in that business. Okay, man. I'm looking at the wholesale pricing in here, and with the mileage that car has, you're looking at about 28,000 to 33,000 on trade-in. Yeah, man. I don't think that's gonna work. I mean, you're upside down. $40,000 in this car. I mean,
he owes $70,000 and it's only worth $30,000. He should go and unalive the person who sold that to him, honestly.
Do you want to get in something like cheaper, maybe like a Honda, a Toyota, or something so you can continue, doing Uber Eats?
Nah, man, I'm not going from no Hellcat to no Honda.
Interest rate on the Hellcat?
Right now, my interest rate is at, I want to say 22%.
Okay.
I mean, what am I supposed to say about that? Like, you owe $75,000 with 22% interest rate with a 120,000 mile Dodge Challenger. Are you kidding me, man? I'm amazed that it even lasted 120,000 miles for a Stellantis vehicle on its own. How are you paying $1,200 a month for this car? When, again, for Uber Eats only, and you're making $4,000 to $5,000 a month. I mean, a quarter of that is going to the car that is only worth about $30,000, even brand new.
Is it worth it to buy the new Cadillac Escalade V? I get so many messages about people asking me, Yusuf, can you get me a Cadillac Escalade V at MSRP? And all over the market, they are at least $30,000 to $50,000 marked up from the MSRP. Here we have a 2025 Cadillac Escalade V with 72 miles going for $230,000. MSRP for a 2025 Cadillac Escalade V is right about $162,000. So that means that they're being marked up over $60,000 in some cases. Now, if we take a look at a 2024 Cadillac Escalade V, they're going between $128,000 and $145,000. And these were also marked up $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 over MSRP. Here's another one, a 2023 Cadillac Escalade V with 26,000 miles going for $125,000. So if you're looking to buy a 2025 Cadillac Escalade V at MSRP, you better wait a year or two because these are going to depreciate very fast and very hard. I'm guessing after a year or two, this will be right around $130,000 to $140,000, so almost $100,000 depreciation. The same thing with the new G-Wagons. Please understand that nobody can get you a G-Wagon or a 2025 Cadillac Escalade V at MSRP. They're all going to be marked up. They're all going to be $50,000, $60,000 over sticker, and there's no way around it. It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity, if you're a rich person, doesn't matter. If you can stomach a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 depreciation on an SUV within a year, then buy it. If you can't, wait it out. You don't have to get the first thing all the time and get at a good price in a year or two.
But as you can see, even with the car market starting to have some issues over the past few months, we still have some vehicles going way, way over sticker, just like it was 2020, 2021.
Calling a customer on his 2022 Rolls-Royce Cullinan. He owes almost $400,000, pays $5,000 a month, and is upside down big time and wants to get out of it. Let's see what can be done. I'm good. So I'm calling about the Rolls-Royce Cullinan you got. It's a 2022. I think the message I got said 2021, but the VIN number says 2022. I love the orange interior. So tell me what you got, man. What you got going on?
Yeah, man, I got it probably like 2 years ago. I got paid like $384, and I'm trying to get rid of it, and I want to see what you can do for me. You know what I'm saying? I saw you on YouTube.
How much money did you put down?
I put like 15, 20 down on it.
All right.
I'm trying to get out of that. Pay $5,000 a month, for the car. The Wood Forest, bank, whatever.
Wood Forest or what side is the bank?
What side?
I know, good. I'm about to say, man, Wood Forest. That's the bank at Walmart. So now you good. So 40,000 miles. But yo, $5,000 a month for a car. That's crazy, Mr. Daniel.
Yeah, they're just killing me. It's killing me.
Says you're in Miami, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. I mean, I love the color. The orange on the inside looks beautiful. No accidents. I mean, right now my offer, 40,000 miles is a lot for the Rolls Royce. I'll probably be at like $275. So you said you owe $380,000.
So just checking all the boxes, only putting down $15,000 to $20,000 for a $400,000 Rolls Royce probably means you can't afford it. $5,000 a month, and just another story of their life starting to go south, not doing as well compared to a couple years ago, and realizing that you lost $100,000 on this vehicle. You can see some of the comments here. If you have to finance a Rolls Royce, you can't afford a Rolls Royce, especially when you get at that price point. That's something way past any of the BMW, Mercedes type level of luxury. The people who have those kind of vehicles should honestly just only buy them straight up in cash, even though they're still throwing their money into a fire, especially.
And why do you have so much mileage on a Cullinan? It's like those vehicles are for people who don't need to go to work. They don't have anywhere to go Monday through Friday. They choose to go somewhere Tuesday, Thursday night, dinner, steakhouse. Or if it's a rich kid, the rich kid gets dropped off. There's a driver. Damn, dude, you put a down payment on a house that the Cullinan pretty much cost a house $400,000. You can find a lot of houses for $400,000 and put $20,000 down, and you probably would have been making money.
Rolls Royces, terribly unreliable cars. But if you really are that rich and you like it that much, then whatever. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money, but only being able to afford $20,000, living that Miami lifestyle, driving around in a Cullinan just like everybody else does apparently there, probably wasn't the best decision.
You have a 2023 Raptor R you want to sell us. Look at a few pictures, man. It's a beautiful truck. You said that you bought this truck last year, right?
Yeah, man, but I'm really trying to get out of it.
I got you. What'd you buy it for, if you don't mind me asking?
$160,000, right when they came out.
Damn, man. Yeah, I know they were hot. They're selling for crazy over sticker. What do you owe on it currently?
Around 140.
140. Okay. So listen, man. I was looking at some comps whenever you sent me the VIN, and they're going for around 97-ish to 105-ish wholesale, because you do have a lot of miles on it. You have 39,000 miles on it, right?
Yeah.
Pay down about $40,000 if I were to buy this truck. Or, like I said, if you trade it in, maybe we can roll some of that negative equity into it, but you definitely need a down payment in order to get in something new.
Man, I'm really just trying to get out of this payment.
What's your monthly payment?
$2,800. It's been real slow right now, and I'm really just trying to get out of this payment.
What do you do, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm in the home building industry.
Gotcha.
Really, what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to get like 20 grand. I know you're saying like 90. I've seen them selling a little bit over 100 grand. So if you just give me 20 grand, I'll just come drop it off. You can just do whatever you need to do with it.
I gotcha. I mean, you mean just drop it off for like $20,000?
Yeah, like you cut me 20 grand, and I'll just come drop off the truck.
No, man, I don't think that's gonna work. Because I mean, like I said, they will retail for like 110, 115, but again, this is a wholesale deal, so you'd have to come up with like $40,000 cover the negative equity. If I give you 100 grand for the truck.
Man, I just don't want this truck at all. I really don't want the payment.
No, man, I mean, it doesn't work like that. I mean, you can take it to your bank, but you know, whenever they sell that at auction or wholesale, you're gonna have to come up with a difference.
Yeah, man, well, that's not gonna work. That's why I was looking for 20 grand. So if I could think about it, man, if I come drop it off, just give me 20 grand, and you can just do what you want with it. 20 grand, you do whatever you want with the truck. I just can't keep making this payment.
I got you, man, but it doesn't work like that. I mean, I need a title. Do you have a title for it?
Nah, man, I don't have the title for it yet.
I got you. Nah, man, I mean, like I said, the only way to do this, man, is if you come up with a negative equity and we roll in something else. Or I just buy the truck outright, but I need a check from you.
So there's a couple of things about this story. First, $160,000 for a Ford F-150 Raptor R. I think the MSRP is around 100 to like 110, maybe 120. Of course, the dealer slapped $40,000, $50,000 above sticker. Somebody bought it, was in the home building industry, and you know, maybe he was living the high life. He got a contract where they can make those cookie cutter builds and make a whole new town, all the brand new construction, and make a ton of money. And then when that ends up drying up, he can't afford making the almost $3,000 a month payment for the vehicle. Now, I feel like something else shady was happening, that he just needed $20,000 immediately, so he was trying to drop off the truck even though it was worth way more. So it definitely feels like there was more to the story, but we have a comment from one of you guys. Financing houses like this was a big cause of the 2008 financial crisis, so I'm glad we all learned from that. And I think it's funny, back when people were getting crazy mortgages for their houses, basically we're in the same price range now, but people are financing vehicles instead of houses for it. All to keep up with the Joneses, make yourself look.
Didn't I just say that? When did cars become the price of fucking houses, y'all? When did we let this happen? What is wrong with us, bro? Yeah, man. Y'all see what's going on, man. If you're looking to buy a car, don't right now, unless it's used 5 years or more. Unless you just really balling like that and confident that your income is not going to slow down over the next 3 years, 4 years while you're making that $6,000 to $1,000 payment. Godly.